I mean, Mark Cuban in Dallas, everybody can get a hold of him. It's like knowing when the right time to pull the lever is. Like we can get a hold of Mark Cuban in like 30 minutes and make sure, and we'll make him see it. But like, why? Like we gotta come correct. Like, why would we do that?
Come correct.
Come correct or don't come at all, because
Let's go,
more damage. Like it's all relative. Like if you're trying to get in, to this level, and if I'm trying to get into, like a Michael Sartain level one, it's like, and I get a chance to meet him, I better come correct with not like, I mean, he might be nice and be like, because he gets that a lot, but it's like, if I actually want to do real business, different.
Just taking value. That reminds me of a tip, just taking value. That's not what you want to do around high status people. Yo guys, what up? It's Juan Garcia. Welcome to the show. For our first special guest, we have none other than Daulton O'Neill, owner and founder of Greenlight Events, owner and founder of Texas Cannabis TV, and he's up to a whole lot of other things. I'm going to let him introduce himself in a minute. But Daulton, I want to start off with this. Do you remember how we met?
Oh my gosh. One, it's a honor to be on the first episode here, Juan. You've helped build so many brands. You've launched so many podcasts. I've watched it from the beginning. I remember being on some of your pods back in the day that you produced for some folks. But of course, dude, we met in San Marcos Hall at Texas State back in the day, San Marcos slanging, before your t-shirt company, before Julia Rose, before the story even got started.
Yeah, hey, before Julia Rose was famous.
I knew you before Julia Rose was famous, before you knew her. So
that's funny. I was thinking about this in the shower a minute ago. I was like, shit. This was 10 years ago to the fucking month, probably. Like it's September right now. When did we like move in to the dorms?
Probably like 3 weeks ago. Like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, a fucking decade in this shit.
Just like Gary Vee says, bro, like the 55 is the new 25. Like we still got that young energy. Now we got some skills and some networks to collab.
So this is gonna be fun. By the way, before we get into who you are and let the audience know, I just want to say this about Daulton. Through the pandemic, when business was going awry, this motherfucker saved my ass so many times. Like leading up to a few weeks ago when I was in Vegas, he saved my ass once again. So we got a lot to go over, man. But I appreciate you. And for those that don't know, the fucking Texas Cannabis TV, the Greenlight Events owner, the man to know in Texas. Funny. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
That's funny, Juan. You hype us up too much. You've actually had the opportunity to see underneath the hood. It's kind of like when I worked at Outback Steakhouse in high school and I still ate there. The food's good. You've had the ability to look underneath the hood at Greenlight, look underneath the hood at Texas Cannabis TV, and you still like us. So it's that classic thing. If you'll still eat there, you'll still hang out with us. We're obviously doing something right. But yeah, the story of Greenlight. I really wanted to join the cannabis industry for multiple reasons, medical applications with cancer and, getting people out of jail for a plant that in my mind, God's gifted us. Everything God made is good. That's so obvious. And a good entrepreneurial opportunity. When you just look at a product that so many people use, we wanted to get in. In July of 2018, we threw a business networking meetup that was the precursor to Greenlight. We had about 30 people come in Dallas, Texas. None of these things were happening. So when you did digital forensics on the internet for cannabis business events in Dallas, even Austin, there was nothing. So at the time I saw a hole. I had no entrepreneur skills at the time, was kind of nervous to do it, but we threw that meetup. It was such a success. We had to start a company to work with venues and to do it was like $150 deposit one of the venues wanted. And we were like, well, who's going to pay that? It's like, don't have your business do it. They just looked at me like, oh, you have your business send it to us. And it's kind of like an embarrassing thing where it's like, oh shoot, like, what do you mean? And so we started Greenlight. We've been throwing our own events, consulting for other events, really the predominant networking Texas cannabis business group there is. Now there's a lot of other associations and other yearly events that happen that we're happily consult on and go to, endorse as many as we can.
Let's stop right there for a minute.
Yeah.
Because you're up to other things, but I want to stop on something you said. So tell the audience why. I know why it is. But why is it the premier cannabis events company in Texas?
It's really our format. You get there, it's very inclusive. We don't care. We always kind of joke like business casual because we do want to have a seriousness about it. This is not a smoke party. This is not I mean, yeah, if people want to bring their legally
A
compliant
ghetto
homes
smoke
to smoke.
party.
Yeah, we don't do that. Like I'll go to those
Ratchet.
parties. I'll go to those. I mean, I've been to those parties. We've been to some of those parties, and
Yeah.
I'm there. People
Yeah.
kind of look at me like I'm a narc or something. It's like, no, I get down here. But when we're there, it's for a really serious situation. I mean, the regulations are up and down. The rules are up and down. Nobody knows. So at our events, you really get the skinny, the 411 of what's going down in the industry. Who's doing good business, who's doing bad business. We joke that we're like sunlight's the best disinfectant. We're the water hole. We really have the ability to flush out bad actors by having these open format events. You know, we're not an association, so we're not charging you a membership. The Hemp Business Builder does. That's another business we're involved with. One that you've helped out with too, because we can't, you can't scale your time. You have to find ways to help as many people as you can. But what makes our events really the best is we've worked our ass off. I mean, dude, in 2019, in Game of Thrones varies, like the Spy Master. It's not even like we're trying to spy on people, but like if there's a kitchen that pops up, if there's a packaging company that pops up, like I had people send these companies to me, send me names, and I'll be the one to reach out. Hey, blank, I see you're doing a cannabis commercial kitchen in Dallas, Texas. Like, my name's Daulton. Nice to meet you. Please come to our event. Very like we're doing the outreach and we're an event, so we're not competing with anybody. So everybody feels really comfortable with us. And obviously we have our favorites and we have our sponsors that we vetted and that we know do good business. But it's really kind of open to the people. It's more of a public utility at this point. I mean, we've personally expedited the North Texas cannabis industry by like a mile. Like the lawyers will tell you,
Right.
the CPAs will tell you, you come to a green light event and then you find your other service providers. So it's really more of a public utility. We've slowed down, and yeah, we've had ticketed events and we've had other types of events. We got a really lucky to partner with the Capital Factory early on. They housed us, so it made us look a lot more legit than we were at the time.
Yeah.
And now we
Yeah.
are legit. And now we are legit enough to do that. So it's been great. I mean, Greenlight's really evolving now to more of a consultancy because we have the network, we know the sponsors, we figured out what venues like us, we know what speakers. I mean, for somebody trying to throw a cannabis event right now where they want creme de la creme speakers,
Right.
these speakers don't just trust anybody. Like, why
Yeah.
would a speaker drive 3 hours, even if you're paying them? Like, they don't know you, they don't know what you're pushing. And Greenlight, I mean, it's one text from the Greenlight gang. I mean, any speaker in Texas you want, we'll get like that, like Snap.
Yeah, definitely. That's such an important part of events because I know that I throw my own events too,
Mm.
with focused on media and models and that VIP type of status stuff, but that reputation that you hold, right? And kind of sussing out the bad actors. Okay, you're blacklisted. You're never being invited again.
Right.
In that same note, the people that are good actors and awesome to the community, they also trust you, and they're not, it's a small circle, right?
They feel safe.
In
They feel
any,
safe.
yeah, in any industry, it's a small circle. So if you want to be a part of really, and you're expanding to, more broad events, like, broader than just the cannabis industry now, right?
We have to. Unfortunately, the Texas cannabis market size, there's not enough really quality events that have the correct budgets to support an events company. So, I mean, there's a few ones that are doing things. And again, we support, maybe we'll shout out a couple of the events coming down the pipe that we're consulting and helping promote and advertise with Texas Cannabis TV. But that's not like a full-time job supporting the Texas cannabis events landscape. So really through last year's South by Southwest, when all the crypto NFT stuff was happening, and slowly me becoming a tech person, I always ran away from the tech. But now if you want to do business, you're a tech person. So we understand these different softwares and these different sponsorships. And I mean, even so, I mean, one, we like to joke, like I like to drink beer, and when an alcohol sponsor can throw down $50,000 and look the other way, and we're struggling with certain cannabis brands to throw down 5 or 10,000 to headline the event, it's like, hey, hold on, let's call our friends over there at Stella and see, if they want to participate, because it's really entertainment. It's really, we're in the business of entertainment, educating. Greenlight will always have its start in the cannabis space, and that's why we've created events like Texas Cannabis Roundup, our annual event, where we flush a lot of the energy and resources into that. I mean, people have approached us. We could easily do a quarterly event or a monthly event to really galvanize the entire state of Texas. But really, in my professional opinion, it's not even needed right now. We're going into a big legislative session. A lot of things are about to change. The Delta 8s, the HHCs, all these little micro cannabinoids, the laws are not set yet. Medical,
Right.
and so why are we going to go spin our engines when the lawmakers are really the ones that are going to destine the future of it. So yeah, we're going to do some NFT stuff, some crypto stuff, some entertainment stuff. Hopefully, get over there in the general entertainment. You know, I have a lot of friends, not a lot. I got like three, but that's
Yeah.
that's more than a lot that are talent buyers that have booked talent for really serious events. I mean, like serious. I mean, A list, B list people, and they like the green light gang. So why would Greenlight not offer talent booking services? Why would Greenlight not offer premier audiovisual consulting? And you know, we don't care if you're doing a real estate event or if it's obviously we come from the cannabis industry, but we've learned these tricks. I mean, just like one simple thing, when you're booking a hotel conference, they tell you, they nudge you that you have to use their audiovisual in-house. That's just not true. All you have to do is ask if you can bring third-party audiovisual. I mean, we took one client at a very name brand hotel that had a $10,000 quote for their in-house AV. We got that quote down to like 2,600, and we still made money.
Awesome.
And we still
Let's
made
go.
money. Like we still made money. So when you see how much of a racket it is and kind of disrupting some things, and COVID really changed things, I won't go down that path. But Greenlight, you know, it appears it's just like a cannabis hype house, which it kind of is in a weird way. But we've learned these skill sets and we've learned these services that translate over. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer. But yeah, we are once the website's updated and everything, we're going to be looking to onboard other clients.
Two things. I'll say this. So it appears like that because that's what it's actually done, right? In my opinion, you know, starting years ago when you started your first events, the people that showed up and then networked at your events, they got their fucking life changed because of someone they met at a specific event.
They own businesses now. They're our sponsors now, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, those very specific stories more than me from the cannabis side and what exactly happened at your events. But no, people are excited to go to your events, man, because you'll be drinking a fucking beer, like being like, oh yeah, talk to this person, talk to that person, right? Introducing people. And that's amazing, man. Talk a little bit about that.
Leah dropped this on another pod, and it's true. And it's funny how it goes down. Let's say I don't know you, Juan, and you walk in. We're at our event. We've planned 4 months for this, okay? And the event's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I look at everything pretty, you know, not economically, but everything. There's a finite amount of time. You come in and say, hey, nice to meet you. I saw you this or whatever. And it's like, hey, man, nice to meet you. Okay, what do you like to do? I cannot sit here and talk to you 30 minutes of the 2 hour event.
The event host, right?
Yeah, I can't. How am I gonna? How am I gonna? And I might love you, and me and you might hit it off, and we might be bros, and that happens a lot. Like I met some of my best friends in the industry, but I can't. I will wake up with so much regret Monday morning quarterback if I talk to some random media guy for 30 minutes out of 2 hours when I have an entire event to host. Yeah. So one, it's like it's fight or flight. It's like, hey man, love you, but you should really go talk to ABC, you know. But in turn, I'm looking over the room and inviting you to meet the three most important people that you came there to meet. So you're coming in there, and you're smart for going straight to the event host to find, okay, where's the people I need to meet? And I don't even bullshit. It's like, hey, you're here to meet these people, go meet them, I'll introduce you. And there's really levels to it, because then if I'm bringing you to somebody I've known 3 years, I'll say, yeah, interview him. Let me know what you think about him. I'll circle back to that guy or girl after. Like, hey, what'd you think about Juan? So there really is levels to this stuff that I've learned from other event organizers. Like one of them's Morris Beagle, shout out. He's given Greenlight a really good chance. We've consulted for Southern Hemp Expo. We've consulted for NOCO. Like we don't have the ability to see what's going on at all times. So we have to have our other lieutenants, our other little generals out there letting us know. But that's really how it goes. You come in, as long as you have a good vibe and you don't look like a borderline criminal, you're not a cop. We'll ask you, are you a cop? You have to tell us yes or no. And then we'll say, look, you know, we back law enforcement. We invited off-duty police at our last event at the Texas Cannabis Roundup because we're doing nothing wrong. And we like to maintain order. Like we love having our high status guests feel super comfortable, because you can throw 10 good events, but you're just due for one bad one. I mean, we joke about the Fire Fest, you know, one Fire Fest, it's all over.
Oh man.
We're hanging up the green light hat. So, you know, I'll kind of leave it at that, but we really like to introduce everybody. You know, somebody could say, Daulton, you know, you're losing commissions, you're losing connecting fees because you're helping somebody close orders. I just got a message. I could play it. It's funny. Aubrey Elliott from Extracts, he just sent this to me. This was today.
What's up, Daulton? It's Aubrey with Exclusive Gummy. I just wanted to reach out and say thanks again for giving me that invite and making it happen at Texas Cannabis.
I can barely hear it, but I get the point for the most part. He's reaching out. He's thankful. He's thankful. You're
He
the
just
so you're
closed,
the connector.
he just closed a giant deal. Now he's calling me, trying to take me to lunch. I'd love to go lunch with
Right.
him, but I'm busy today. You know, if you want to have lunch with me, it's like 6 weeks out, honestly. And it's not because I'm that busy. It's because, like, dude, we have a lot of responsibilities. Like,
Yeah.
my dog needs to go to the vet. We got to go do this. We have other things to do. And I mean, yeah, if I was in the area, it'd be cool. But he
Yeah,
landed
I get it.
two big clients at our event that have
Right.
obviously now paid for his sponsorship.
Right,
So
right.
so he's like circling back, and it's like, okay, you know, so our sponsors get value. The media we provide on the back end with Texas Cannabis TV is unmatched, but we'll get to that. So it's like people come, they enjoy it. You know, we ask, what can we do better? And that's really what we bring to consult with when clients tell us, you know, okay, are you just trying to make money? Are you trying to get your name out there? Like, we have to reverse engineer what these clients need and whether it's even tangible to do. And we've had to leave money on the table. We say, hey, like, the industry's not ready for that, or hey, we don't think you can get that many people to come. Like, if you're telling me, oh, 5,000 people are going to come, it's like, okay, all right, yeah, well, like, we had 250 to 300 at the roundup. We promoted it for 3.5, 4 months. We're kind of the top dogs here, in like a really nice way to say it. Like, if that's what we're pulling, like, how are you going to get 5,000 unless you're giving goodie bags to everybody? You know, unless you're giving people $200 to show up, you know, how's it really going to work? Because people don't care as much as our bubble likes to think they do.
Like you said, oh, let's talk about that real quick. And it's a small market too. There's big cannabis events going on in Colorado and Las Vegas in California, LA, places like that, right? But it's still like it's hard to make the money in Texas, even with hemp, right? But
a lot of gas stations, if you're doing gas stations, I mean, the gas stations make all the money. When you see, oh, the hemp industry is 800 million or whatever, it's like, okay, like, I don't know the specific statistics, but like, a lot of that's straight gas stations. Like, not that many people are going to CBD stores to buy their CBD. We're either buying it online. If you're in college, you're buying it at a gas station. Like, yeah, there's certain stores there's certain ones that make it, you know, that are doctors focused, or that look like the Moon Tax. They have a great setup where you go in, it feels like a dispensary, good customer service. You know, it's like people will keep going back to that. But if I was just going for the product, like, I'm gonna order that to my house.
They do have a great setup, and but they're playing the business very smart from what I've noticed, talking to their founder, right? I mean, she has businesses in other states, other countries.
Right.
So like,
you got to give the people what they want. Like, you just throw up a little, if you just take over an old sports clips and throw CBD in there, like, I don't want to go in there. Why would I go in there?
Yeah. It's the same reason, like, the San Antonio Spurs can't fill their seats compared to the LA Lakers, right? So, like, it's just a smaller market, so it's hard to get that money.
You got to have Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan. They'll fill the seats.
You know? Exactly, motherfucker.
It's fun, man. I mean, Greenlight, it's been a journey. We're going to keep evolving. You know, I mean, that's really, we could talk about Greenlight all day and just the funny shit we've seen with events, because we've seen shit hit the fan. And, you know, and our other founder, David Flores, he runs a grow in Oklahoma. He taught me this really early on. It's all about how you respond. I mean, shit is going to hit the fan. That's inevitable.
Oh, for sure.
It's just about how you respond. Keep your composure and just respond accordingly. You know, it's just, and then it's done, and then just keep it moving. So, you know, that's why
part of throwing events. That's part of hosting. You just got to handle the shit. You got to handle the chaos, and
can't be scared.
Come out on the other side a winner.
Can't be scared. Can't do it. And that's why, Juan, you've been such a great addition as you know, one of like our clients that really helps us get things going with your skill set in events, your skill set in media. I mean, things you know how to do that, you know, it's like, oh, just resizing an Instagram. I mean, how dumb is it, Juan, to spend $20,000 on an event and then your Instagram graphic not fit the right platform?
Ooh,
I mean, how dumb is that? You know, how dumb? And we see that. You've seen that. You know some of the people I'm talking about. So it's like, and so at the very least.
So I told you this, right? Speaking of that, I told you, if we can't get good media from the event, if we can't get high quality,
don't even have it.
I'd rather not even have the fucking event.
Why would we have
it?
Right. Why would we do it?
Like, I get the networking, but like, dude, the media after the event is so fucking powerful. I mean, you've seen the shit on my Instagram, like the fucking wild videos. There was one special event I put together for Valentine's Day, one shoot where we had like the biggest models in Austin, the biggest photographers, and we did not get anyone to do the cinematography and have the after movie. And that was just like a fucking almost waste of an event because we didn't have the badass video, right? So even before that, I did badass videos, but from that point on, I was like, fuck, dude, if we don't have a cinematographer or someone taking video and editing clips, like we might as well not even have the event because that's so powerful. Like you kind of show, and let me say this real quick. Here's what I told my buddy Mosab when we threw our about 2 years ago to this month, actually, to this weekend. We threw like this insane red carpet birthday media shoot with models and stuff. You can go see it's pinned on my profile. You know, a lot of people still talk about that event to this day. But I told Mosab before we put together that event and organized it, I was like, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck how much fun we actually have at this birthday like photo shoot, right? Slash media then at night and got into a wild party, right? Like I was like, I don't care how much fun we had, it just needs to look fucking cool after. Like we had more fun than you. Let's give them FOMO, motherfucker. Because that's the thing. You make a badass event to then build to the next one, to then build to the next one, to then build to the next one, so that when you're getting sponsors for your next event, you can send them in the DMs actual media like, oh yeah, we want to do something like this, or this is the type of events we host, right? We're doing something like this next time. And then
Proven
like, oh
results.
shit.
Proven
Yeah,
results.
exactly. Michael Sartain, irrefutable visual evidence, right? So that's just such an important part of events. And you know, we were gonna get into something before
Let me
that.
add something. Let me add something to that. And it's the timing. Like Greenlight, we have so much content. We have a content library that's wild, but we're not great at speed editing and getting it out there. So by the time you see it, it's like, oh, that was like last year. And it's like, oh, well, so it's also, you got to add the timing to it.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you got to really have the to tell the story. And with the roundup, we weren't too concerned because it's a yearly thing. So it's like, okay, as long as the content gets out by Christmas, you know, it'll be okay.
Right.
But it's just been fun, Juan. I mean, you being our marketing director, you know, for those few months, especially, you know, I still know you're pretty much wearing that hat, you know. Unfortunately, we can't afford to pay you what you're worth to be the full-time guy all the time.
Hey, I'm getting ready to go harder though. I'm getting ready to go harder.
We always come back. You know, getting Texas Cannabis TV was just a blessing on top of Greenlight. Obviously, friends with some other group of folks.
Talk about that. So we haven't really got into that. What is Texas Cannabis TV and how did you even start that? I know I manage the account now and help a lot with that, but I wasn't like part of the original team. So how did that start? Let's do it.
It's crazy. I had some friends that I've known in Dallas that were doing something similar, and really just was like, hey, like we need to do this. And so got it started. They gave us a shout out that really launched the entire deal, where you know you organic followers like impossible to get. So one big shout out from them. And we've always tried working, you know, it's just a different account. You know, we're not so much news as we are. Juan, we talk about this. People like to see the dumb stuff. We could literally post cannabis science articles about cutting edge stuff. Like every time I post the hemp for cattle feed stuff, CBD and THC cattle feed, nobody cares. And it's like, dude, that's actually really cool. And because you can
people like the fart joke. People like the fart joke over the you know, high level joke.
So we've kind of gone a different brand. And you know, at first it was just an Instagram account. Now we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter. We have 3 Instagram accounts. One is a backup and one we acquired, and just as a good backup. And we built our little community here. We offer, you know, services, people to pay us to come out. We promote our own events and our friends' events. And it's the sharing economy. You know, people that we know that we want to help, we try to shout out to, like Eddie from Oak Cliff Cultivators. I mean, if they create cool media, it's going on our page, you know, because they've done so much for us. They've sponsored so many things. I mean, it's a cool ace to have in the back of our hand too, because, you know, let's say you sponsor our event and you don't get the results you want, which is like never happened. But just in case that does happen, it's like, okay, well, we'll backload a bunch of media for you, you know, and get eyeballs that see it. You know, I forgot what was like 20,000 people a week that look at our account. One, that was like a year ago when
you a shitload. You know what's a crazy stat is if you go in and look at the amount of shares. I think there's a post that has like 20,000 shares. There's a
That one
couple of
Mark
posts.
Cuban one you did. The one Mark Cuban one that was like, "Hey, what's your invention?" He's like, "Weed," and like
Oh
Mark
yeah,
Cuban, dude,
yeah.
that one went
From
wild.
at Smoke made
I think
that.
that was like
Um,
EY's, yeah. And we love tagging them. Like those dudes in I don't even know if they're dudes, it just looks like a bro group in LA, the high rise group. Like they're
yeah,
always
yeah,
I mean, so we'll see. We got some grinders coming down the pipe and some merch, but really it's kind of the platform for other folks to advertise. And Instagram could wake up one
hmm
day and say it's gone, but we're really doing the best we can again to diversify. Again, we got our trademark pending and we're looking at maybe doing some original content, but we're just so much better at sharing the news
right,
because we know the news before it happens. Like if you're
right,
reading it off Google, like Greenlight in our group has known about this for like 2 weeks, like straight
right,
up. And
right.
like that's kind of like a strong claim to make, but it's true. Like Lucas with his hemp farm
hmm
article in Texas Monthly, like I've been knowing about that for like
Yeah,
a
I'm
year
talking to
and a half.
Lucas tonight.
I've
Actually,
been,
I'm
I've
talking to
been, I've
Lucas
been,
tonight.
I've been, I've been knowing about this for a year and a half, and Texas Monthly wants to cover it. Thank you, Texas Monthly, for covering it. But it's like most of this hemp news I'm seeing, or oh, this is going to be legal, or this is banned. It's like, dude, everybody already knew that in
We've
our
been
circle.
looking at it. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's easy for us to share it, and it's easy for us to tag the big brands, or hey, I'm looking for the best CBD brand in this area. It's like we know people. Like, oh, okay,
right.
just let me just look through. If we had a better CRM, I think would be a little bit more untouchable
hmm
because if something happens to me or something happens to Leah or just something like somebody go crack the iCloud because who has all
Right.
these numbers and stuff. I mean, we have a CRM, HubSpot, and we
But
have
I know
Salesforce
what you
a
mean.
little bit.
Like,
I mean, yeah, like I don't want it to die with us because really the movement we've started is bigger for the modern industry. And we have a lot of things. We don't just I know this, we don't just fight for ourselves, we fight for our families, we
hmm
fight to create a better life. I mean, the entrepreneur stuff, it's not even, I've seen this about it being risky. Oh, entrepreneurship's risky. No,
hmm
dude, what's risky is working your whole life for a company that cuts you because the CEO fucked up. You know,
Dude, so
like
risky.
that's riskier. Like,
Sick to my stomach. Sick to my
and
stomach. Risky.
the case in point is that mortgage company that fired half their company on Zoom. And it's like
Yeah.
these guys and gals had 401ks, they had kids in school, they had healthcare, they'd get fired on Zoom one day. And it's like, yeah, no, like that seems like a lot riskier. Like that seems,
Yeah.
and so
Sick to
although
my
being,
stomach. Let's
yeah,
not even go with fire. Let's just say it's a good job, but you don't want to look back and say what could have been, right?
what could have been, or
I
what can
think
you
it's
create?
Tim Grover, Michael Jordan's trainer, Kobe's trainer. He said that you think fucking like he said something along the lines of like you think fucking winning, the pain in getting good is hard. Try the pain of regret, motherfucker.
Oh
Like,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
We can't do it.
Fucking
What, especially in the age when we benefited from having real IRL mentors and other people like Gary Vee. I know me and you came up on Gary Vee. I mean, the
oh
internet's
yeah.
still brand new. I mean, the domain we even mentioned when you were looking at podcast names, the fact that
Mhm.
that podcast domain's even
Yeah.
available is crazy. I mean, it's all digital real estate on the internet. I mean, the fact
Yeah.
that we even got Texas Cannabis TV and nobody's contested it. I
Love
mean,
it. Love it.
our lawyer says we're going to get it. Nobody since February of 2021 has even said Texas Cannabis TV on the internet except for us. So
Right,
it's
right.
like it's like we're shooting free throws. Who's gonna, are you gonna free throws? Nobody's even guarding you. So it's
Right.
really one of those things. It's up for us to build these businesses and brands, but maybe the other events like South by Southwest, that's where me and your
Mhm.
worlds really collide.
Mm.
Is that kind of where you're thinking it
That's
goes with us?
that's such a big point, especially in from what I've seen in the Texas cannabis industry, let alone other industries. But when I immediately like started looking at the industry, when I got involved with you and what you were doing, one of the first things I think I told you with everyone about these cannabis events, I was like, dude, it's a big fucking circle jerk. Like it's just a it's just a
True.
bunch of cannabis companies that need to sell things fucking circle jerking
Bro,
around the same room.
everybody was
So,
selling shit to each other. And it's like, hey, we don't want any of
hey,
this.
we're all the business owners. We need to get out to the customers.
Yeah.
So, I talked about this with Amos from MJ's. We talked a little bit of
Big,
strategy.
big shout out to Amos.
Yeah,
Big
big
shout
shout
out to
out to
that
Amos.
man. Amos.
I still have more work to do with him. He's got a lot going on right now. But we talked about this. We were like, dude, I'd rather put my cannabis booth at an event where people are than just be at another cannabis event where I see the same people. Shoot, I love the same people, been in the community, right? If you
Yeah.
haven't been in the community, yes. Like, please
It's
go.
important.
That shit
It's
will change your
important, yeah.
life. If you've been in the community, sure, yeah, show up, but make it a point to be where the customers are actually passing it through, right? Like the music festival. Even Adam 22 from No Jumper said that about that event that they had. Is it Green Street?
Yeah, Green
The place
Street.
is called. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, like the cannabis event is pretty cool, but like it's all fucking industry people. Like even he said the same fucking thing I said. Like, I'd rather set up at the music festival, and like
Yeah.
it would make more sense for a cannabis brand to do that.
Right, right. I mean,
So
it's fun. And from the events and media side,
right,
we're there to hang out. It's better for us because it's like we're more of a platform.
right.
One more thing to add, because it's like this with any industry. If you're starting a cannabis business, you don't need the industry. You don't need green light. You don't need that. You don't need to go to all these associations. You can literally do it on your own,
Mhm.
depending on your style. Like, we're not saying that, oh, you have to go to a green light event, but the road is
I
a lot
think
more.
they're stupid if they don't, though.
I think
I'll
so
say that
too.
for you. I
I
think
think
they're
so
stupid.
too. Well, if you got someone to hide, then it's good not to come. Or if you're
True.
not ready, but it's like, we are industry people. We are if there's an establishment, like, ha ha ha, that's us. I'm an
Mhm.
anti-establishment type of guy, but like, we've
Mhm.
helped build the establishment from the grassroots though. When you're the establishment, you came from the grassroots, it's cool. Like, I mean, our story's well documented from one meetup group to, really being kind of like, I hate to even say it, one, but I'm with you. So we got to I can't self-deprecate my whole life. Nobody's going to self-deprecate themselves
Dude,
to,
I'm telling you, he does
I
this
mean,
on stage too, by the way,
I
guys,
know.
if
I'll be
you're
like, oh,
listening
why?
to this.
Like, oh, why'd y'all come from Houston? It's so far, and it's like, dude, because this doesn't happen in Houston.
Love it, love
Because
it.
people are meeting each other in Houston that they hadn't
Now
met
you're
each
the
other
shit,
yet.
Dalton. You're the shit.
We try it, but we've done a lot of it for free. We've done a lot of it just out of will, and a lot of like
Mhm.
blind trust, a blind faith. Like, you got to have that ignorance in you of just to keep going.
Mhm.
Even when, and I've seen people say, "Oh, if your business doesn't make money in 2 years, shut it down." It's like, I kind of disagree with
Well,
that.
that's
You got to find other stuff to do, but you got to
right.
keep the passion going. Greenlight was never, "Hey, let's build this to exit," or "Let's build this and flip it."
Yeah.
It was always like, "Let's use this as a networking tool to meet everybody." That's why I love that you came in, Juan, at the perfect time, because we've really teed up everybody for you. It's like Juan
Dope,
comes in,
dope.
it's like, I mean, dude, you've got access between all the data points we've got. I mean, we really can help out any brand, of
Dude,
like,
we got Steve Fowler asking you about country shit, sending decks over, right? Like
we're general events people. I
the
mean, we've
owner
done
of
stuff.
Babes in Toyland. Like,
We've done
come on.
stuff for South by Southwest. We've helped. I mean, one of the biggest deal Greenlight had was for EarthX. It's the largest sustainability expo in Dallas. So, like, we do big sustainability events. We do South by
Mhm.
Southwest events. I mean, we've done music festivals we've helped out with. Leah brings on a whole nother area. Again, with the talent buyers we're bringing online. I mean, with some of the consultants we're bringing on, I mean, we book talent for anybody. It's just a number.
Yeah,
You
dude.
want Justin Bieber, God willing, his health is right. Like, it's just a number.
Yeah,
So
back to those big events like South by Southwest. Like
ACL, they need
that
cannabis sponsors.
that's
We've
one of
reached
the
out.
biggest
Yeah.
event tips, like starting out. Like, if you're not already doing events, don't try to make your own fucking festival, you crazy. Like, do
Crazy.
instead host the after party, or in, instead host like some other type of thing
Get a
at
little
the event.
area. Get a little area inside the event. Pitch it. Like,
Yeah,
hey, let us have this little pavilion inside your place, or let us help, or
yeah.
bring value.
Real quick, Dalton,
Yeah.
speaking of Steve Fowler, at Babes in Toyland Miami this year, I met so many amazing people I would have never met because I didn't just show up to Babes in Toyland. Where, if you want to meet, by the way, guys, if you want to meet influencers, if you want to meet, content creators, that is the place to go. They donate to a lot of charities. They help save animals. They, give care packages to troops, and they help give Christmas toys to kids and things like that. So Babes in Toyland charity, look them up. But when I went to Miami, like me and my event organizers like Keegan, shout out Godwin and Shanka down in Miami, and a few of our other sponsors. So I said, guys, everyone's flying in for Babes in Toyland, like all these influencers, right, to Miami. Let's host an event. Let's host a big media shoot the day before Babes in Toyland, because everyone's already going to be in town, right? So we're hosting an event sort of supplementing the big event that everyone is already going to go to, right? So that's a huge tip
People are
for
hungry for
hosting
it.
events.
People are hungry for it. You know,
Definitely.
you're flying
Everyone's in
in,
town for
you're
South
fresh off
by.
the jet. Yeah, yeah. And it's when real conversations can be had. You know, at the event, it's like fast paced. There's somebody speaking here, somebody's here, and by all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock. It's like, and then we talked about this too. One, you get there a day early, meet the people, and then the next day, you know, you're seeing, hey, what's up, what's good.
Yeah, for real.
They don't know if you've known these guys and girls for 2 years or you know what the deal is, and all of a sudden it kind of elevates your status at the event as a
Definitely.
connector, as a facilitator, because you're there to do business. I mean, if we're there to meet one person to close one deal, okay, let's do it. But every event me and you go to, we're just working the room. It's
Right,
consistent. It's
exactly.
nonstop. Even when we're done, we can't stop. You know.
Yeah, speaking of results, like at that Babes in Toyland weekend situation, I mean, we hosted our event. There's a model that I didn't really talk to at that event, who then I talked to the next day, recognized me. We had a great time. Turns out she needed help with her marketing, right? So she became a client. That's immediate business right there, right? Then now I just onboarded like last night her other friend who's a model who needs marketing services, right? So like, dude, show up to events already knowing people or already walking in with people, and then you know, that'll
Doing your
just
research.
that atmosphere is just conducive for doing a lot of business, a lot of high status networking, that type of thing.
Well, the formula you're talking about can be worked on any industry. Obviously, you know, the only authority I can speak on is the cannabis stuff, but it's any
Right.
industry. Even if we're going to like a chocolate conference, go in there, figure it out, creep
I'm
on their
walking in
content.
there.
Yeah,
I'm
like
walking in there with Willy Wonka.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, pretty much like
Hey, if it's a
you know,
cannabis conference, I'll talk to my own people at the cannabis event, but I am making sure you know that I know Daulton, by the way. Have you
you're
met
funny.
Daulton? Have you met
Everybody,
Daulton? Have you
everybody's got to
met
have a
Leah?
friend like Juan. Everybody's got to have a friend like Juan that hypes you up because you can really speak it into an existence. You know, that's happened before. I mean, people, you know, again, self-deprecating. Usually, when people do come meet me, it's a little underwhelming because it's like, why the fuck have 8 people told me to come meet you? It's like, what's good? We're here. You know,
Oh
what do you want to
man.
know? Because it happens. I mean, we never ask for anything, you know, either. We've got and the thing we've really mastered is maybe it's not mastering, but when we're with you at an event, you know, it's like a wedding. Like we're here. But the second we go home, it's like, no, there's paywalls, there's time walls. Like I've declined 3 calls today. And I'm an old school guy. So I love talking on the phone. I love being like, but it's like, you know, like I'm busy. I can't talk. You have to set boundaries, you
Yeah,
know. It's like,
definitely.
what do you want? Like I'll call Aubrey back when I'm like on the car driving downtown. If he doesn't answer, it's like cool. Or when I'm in the shower, like earlier, it's like if I'm
Yeah.
bored, if I got time, I'll try to call people back. But it's really, you know, it's more of like a what's good situation. But Juan, it's so exciting to see you launch this new show. I mean, the network you've built over the last couple of years that I've watched. I mean, it's a shame you don't have
Appreciate it.
your old. It's a shame you don't have your old Instagram account
Oh
because
man, I got banned.
we got to go get it back. We got to go get your old Instagram back because there's some things on there, and you know, me and you have some
There's
old
some people in
content.
the DMs.
There's some people in the DMs, even your old accounting shows I've been a fan of. You know, another thing. I mean, Juan, you've taught me a lot of lessons. It's cool that we've been able to bring you back on as a client because,
Hell
you
yeah.
know, it reminds me, Juan, back in the day when you were in San Francisco, I was watching your Instagram stories of, you know, you have a plan for the day, but you work so hard early in the day that you create more business for yourself that night. So you got to be aware. You know, it's like even these events, you know, you're meeting people, making plans. You always got to have your calendar. So I've gotten a lot better at my calendar, managing expectations, again, managing the team. Because the other thing, we can do all these things. We have so many levers to pull, Juan. Like Juan, at any point, you can pull so many different levers, but you don't have 10 hands. So you can only pull 2 levers at a time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you have 10 to pull. So you really got to be careful who you promise you're going to pull the lever to at a certain point in time, you know, kind of like with some of
Right.
the kind of like the ads we sell on Texas Cannabis TV. You know, we've sold a couple of ads. It's like, hey, send us it to when you're ready, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it's chill like that. But what happens when all 8 people need
Yeah.
their ads run at the exact same time? It's like that's something we can promise because why not? But then we have to protect ourselves again because our mental health, our physical health. I mean, I know you know some of the random things I've been through the past couple months between, you know, just trying to focus and
Yep.
coffee and physical stuff. It's like, you know, you can think at 11 a.m. you can do something, but by 6 o'clock, like you can't. So,
Right. Right.
you know,
Right.
building the teams to scale it, again, having those levers to pull. But it's awesome to be on this show, Juan. I can't wait to see it grow. You've helped build so many clients. You've ran shows before. You're a natural moderator. So it's really been a blessing to hop on this one with you. And dude, I mean, I can't wait to send these clips. I mean, really the new thing to do is send clips of messages to your friends that need it. Like Andrew Tate. I mean, I still smoke vape a little bit if I'm like drunk somewhere, like at a tailgate, but like I don't vape anymore. Like Andrew Tate said it very specifically, like, why are you vaping that? You look like an idiot.
Yeah.
We have all these grown men in the bathroom passing, and so I no longer vape. I mean, yeah, like a CBD vape or a THC vape, like those are different. I'm talking about
that's hilarious.
Trash, disposable nicotine.
I agree with him. I agree with Tate on
bros.
that.
You might see me at a nightclub in Las Vegas smoking one. It's like because this is what it is. I know what I'm choosing to do this to my body. But again, the way he said it so eloquently, I couldn't even say it. Where he's like, yeah, there's 10,000 chemicals in China. They make it taste like watermelon. They ship it to you, and it costs you $4, and you think it's good for you.
Yeah.
You think it's getting you off cigarettes. No. I will take a light blue American Spirit, please, traditional, and I'll go smoke a cigarette outside like a man. It's It's not about, and it's not like, it's not man versus woman or this. It's just like, if you're gonna do that, I'm getting off subject, but it's like these small pieces of content that we're going to create, or I could say, hey,
the clips.
This is a one.
Clip that.
No, this is Daultonism. It's stuff I stand behind. It's the story. It's memorializing what we're doing and helping push the ball forward. Because again, it's not always reasonable. Some of these things other influencers are saying, like Gary Vee saying, I love the garage selling thing, but it's been debunked. It's
been debunked.
If you spend $200 in gas driving around in a whole day, I mean, Juan, you know how much your time is worth per hour. I know how much my time is worth per hour. So there's levels to it that, you can't just go spend all day Saturday. Also, again, men's mental health. Like, are you really going to give yourself extra anxiety of, I have to buy something here and flip it for X amount of money. And then the eBay and the post office and dude, people our age, like we're not on eBay scouring. Like
I will say this though, back in college, based on him, selling garage sale things, and like I think this is why he does it, but he could clearly make more money on a Saturday, honestly. But I think he does it because, people like me did buy watches on Facebook Marketplace and then run into really amazing deals sometimes, and then flip them on eBay for like fucking 600%. Right. So, but obviously, like, you don't want to do that forever. Back to college, being the t-shirt guy, SM Vibes, having Julia Rose model for me, which is really cool and stuff like that. I didn't want to be the t-shirt guy forever, bro. Like, motherfucker.
There's levels to it. Let me give one more ism. If you're out there trying to have a quick come up, you go find when bulk trash day is for the richest neighborhood, like Alamo Heights. Like, when is bulk trash day in San Antonio? You find the day it is, and you go look at the neighborhoods on bulk trash day when all the rich people throw their trash out. Like, that is like, that's the hack. That's the hack. Don't be pulling up to random ass garage sales.
Go find you.
Bulk trash. Well, Simeon just had to come up. He'll tell you about it. We don't live in a super nice neighborhood, but it's like, it's like a, suburb type stuff.
Yeah.
And, we were just walking. We were actually, the whole story's crazier. Lucas lost his keys. We were looking because he left it on his this is a funny fucking story. I got to tell it for a sec. Lucas left.
Is this from that one event?
No, this is like 2 weeks ago.
So everyone's losing keys all the time.
Everybody's losing keys. Okay. No, Lucas has one of those cars, key fob cars. I guess all cars do. He left it on the hood of his car, drove off. Was driving to Austin from my house in Dallas. And so he lost his key, didn't know it until he blew a tire like in Waco. And so he turned off his car to fix his flat tire, then couldn't turn on because he didn't have his key.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now he can't restart his car because his key's in Dallas. So he calls me saying, hey, can you look through the neighborhood to look for this key? I'm like, sure. We're never going to find this key. So Simeon was over. We were working on some videos and stuff. And we walk around and I'm like, dude, I feel bad for you, Lucas. But I'm like, call a fucking tow truck. Like, I love you, bro. But like, this is crazy right now. Like, I'm not. Anyway, we find the key. And on the way back to my house, Sim finds a brand new 80-inch TV that's been out for bulk trash day, and it didn't have any cords, and it like I was like, "There's no way this works." Like this TV for broken.
There's no way this works.
Oh, it works perfectly. Like Simeon brought us back.
Are you serious?
So Simeon just got an 80-inch, and he'll tell you. It's like I got a Snapchat of like, what the fuck is he doing carrying this?
Hey, I'm watching Sunday football at his house. Simeon's
big, bro, but like this 80-inch, he's like holding up top. So you got to put yourself in position to succeed. And this is one more story I want to tell because the UT game, last time I talked to you, I said I wasn't going to UT Alabama. I definitely
Right.
didn't have a ticket,
Yeah.
but the one way you're guaranteed not to get in is not to go. So we
Yeah.
get to the game. We get to the game, and Leo was trying to get one of there was a kid they were helping watch through a friend in the game. It's like first football game,
Mhm.
and so they were really and StubHub fucked them because like they bought the ticket, but it hadn't processed. That's a whole new thing. You have to pay
Right.
extra to get. I don't even know about this, but you got to pay extra to make sure it processes right then and there.
Weird. Okay.
So we have this guy run up to us, and it was the energy we were putting out. We were screaming, "We need to go into the game."
Yeah, let's go.
So this guy comes up to us, and he's like, "Hey, I'll get you in the game for $100." And we're like, "Okay, that sounds sketch. Like we're in. What's good?" And we're like, "Okay, where do we buy the tickets? What is it?" He's like, "No, no tickets. Like you're just getting in for 100." And
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then I was like, "Okay, this is sketch." Leah starts pulling out cash. I'm like, "Leah, put your cash back up. Like we're not paying till we get in." And the guy's like, "That's right. Like you don't pay till you get in." I'm like, "Wait, this is too good to be true. Like this is definitely like a scam."
Yeah.
And so we push him a little bit more. I give him a hemp joint that I have as collateral as a sign of good faith. And we're like, "Hey," he's like, "All right, we got to go to gate 3." Walks us to gate 3, walks us straight in the back door, and we're in the game for $100 each.
Hell
And
yes.
the tickets we sat in were
Hey,
like 400
high
or 500.
status VIP access.
I mean, I
Let's go.
documented the whole thing on Snapchat. I have all the videos of it. I'm not proud to like break into Darrell K. Royal Stadium. Like I didn't. Like I bought it. Like the security guys let me through.
No,
So
you're VIP, man.
yeah, as far
You
as I'm
know,
concerned,
you know someone.
as far as exactly. And we might have just met
That's just a little tip, that $100.
that's to get in, get out, and so that's just obviously you can't always get that lucky
That's
to get
awesome.
like that, but you got to put yourself in a position to
Hey, real
succeed.
quick, shout
Yeah.
out to my younger brother Julian Garcia. He's the Texas football camera operator on the end zone side. So
I saw him on Instagram. He was up there early, bro. He was up at like 4 a.m. doing that.
yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But no man, tell me this. Leave me with because this dude. See, guys, like just start doing shit. We don't even have a fucking name for the podcast yet, but it is. Hey, look, let's start recording. Let's get to it. Let's take action, right? And this podcast is about networking. So leave the people with this, Daulton. What would you say is your number one high status networking tip for the people out there?
Well, there's a couple. One, digital forensics is just so important. Like if you have somebody's name and where they are, you can do a lot of research beforehand to find out what they like, what they don't like, whether they're a fit, whether you're on the same page ideologically, like, do you even want to meet this person?
And real quick, and that's why it's so important to have an amazing social media profile, have an amazing Instagram. There was this videographer from Houston last night that reached out to me and we were talking a bit and he was like, "Can I come to your events?" I told him, yeah, but I'm not gonna fucking invite him because his shit looks just like all over the place. Like it just looks terrible, honestly.
And there's enough self-help people out there to get it going. Like your bio's not that hard to write. Your LinkedIn is easy to do. Your Facebook you just need to have. Like it's like sometimes people are going out of their ways to have ugly looking profiles. Like, dude, like
going out of their ways.
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And you're expecting us to pay you or for us to give a fuck if you're here, And it's like, and you're coming up. It's usually the weirdest guys that are like have this weird energy with like, "Oh yeah, I'm here. Let me." I mean, people think they can run up on stage and grab our microphone and talk when we plan this event for like 3 months, and it's like, "Oh, I'm assuming this guy's famous," and it's like, dude, it's just a weirdo, and it's like, but maybe he's not weird, but if his profiles look better, I'm sorry, it's like people would say, "Oh, that's just the internet, it's not real." Like, no, it is real. This is real. Like, this is what you're presenting to the people, and so that's one thing. You definitely got to do some digital forensics to like expedite it. Like, if you're getting there and you meet me and you're like been trying to meet me and you're like asking the dumbest questions, elementary, it's like, yeah, obviously you didn't want to meet me that bad.
Right.
It's just like that's just the truth. Like, so that's one thing. And not that we even matters, but it's like it's all relative. Like if you're trying to get in, to this level, and if I'm trying to get into, like a Michael Sartain level one, it's like, and I get a chance to meet him, I better come correct with not like, oh, I mean, he might be nice and be like, oh, because he gets that a lot, but it's like if I actually want to do real business, different.
Just taking value. That reminds me of a tip. Just taking value. That's not what you want to do around high status people, right? You just want to give value. So for Michael Sartain, his team for Vegas Immersion the other day in Vegas, like they invited me to go coach, which was really cool, and go coach new students on social skills, networking with high status men, meeting the most beautiful women, and then getting their Instagram right. I was in Michael Sartain's apartment recording a little testimonial, but I didn't ask him for shit. the entire fucking time I was just coaching for his program, giving value,
Right.
and I'm gonna go back and coach again in
Right.
October.
Vegas style.
Yeah, hell
Vegas
yeah.
style. I mean, that's what it's about. You know, if you're asking the dumb questions when you do get your chance with like somebody, you know, quote unquote high status, it's like you already blew it. You're at bat and you forgot your bat, you forgot your helmet, and like you're trying to score. So good luck with that. My last thing, this is a big gem. For people our age, Juan, it's not as big of a deal. And look, I mean, 10 years. I mean, people starting podcast. I mean, yeah, there's some brainiacs that are like 18, 19, but it's like you really have to have some battle scars to know what you're talking about a little bit, you know?
Mhm.
So I do think we're in a good position, you know, 10 years out to reflect on the beginning of the episode. 10 years out, this is what we learned in 10 years, and we'll look back at it and see what we learn the next 10 years. One more thing, when you're dealing with high status networking, you need to ask them when you're trying to follow up how they like to be communicated with. Do they like to text? Do they like an email?
Nice
Do
tip.
they like to do business on Snapchat? That's kind of weird, but you know what? Like if they ask me to Snapchat them, I will Snapchat them if I'm trying to do business, because as I'm the one trying to get their business,
Meet them where they're at.
yeah. Like, hey, is there a newsletter I can subscribe to? Like, you need to ask them, hey, you know, if I'm reaching out, what way do you want me to reach out? You know, because it's so annoying when, and then there's buckets to people. Like, there's people I want to text me, you know, and then there's people I want to hit me up on Facebook Messenger. There's people I deal with on LinkedIn, like Russell from Texas Hemp Reporter. Like, I'll text him. We talk on the phone, but it's like for some reason, me and him only talk on LinkedIn. So it's like if I'm LinkedIn if I'm looking for Russell, like go to LinkedIn. These platforms are now associated, and you got to be multiverse. So yeah, that's one gem. One, we'll think about it. Maybe we'll put out a couple more because networking is so critically important to me, almost to a fault. You know, we've already met.
This is the guy to know in Texas, y'all.
But the problem is when you meet so many people and you're on the hunt for more, like, dude, if I never met a new person in my life and stopped right now, I could actually work through the people I've met and build stronger relationships. Like, you can only.
I remember we were at the rodeo. We were at the rodeo last year in I think we were in San Antonio. We were in San Antonio or Fort Worth, and then all of a sudden we're just sitting right behind what's her name? What's her name? Spalding. Like Don Spalding.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this. There's a Spalding basketball right there. Don Spalding, and you're like best homies with her. Like,
we know her.
This is like, the guy to know.
It's like we know her, and it's not just that, but it's like random people you come across, or like the wall 6 degrees of separation. Like, I mean, Mark Cuban in Dallas, everybody can get a hold of him. It's like knowing when the right time to pull the lever is. Like, we can get a hold of Mark Cuban in like 30 minutes and make sure, and we'll make him see it. But like, why? Like, we gotta come correct. Like, why would we do that?
Come correct,
or don't come at all, because
let's go,
more damage. You don't need all these assistants knowing, don't answer Daulton and Juan. Like, they're time wasters. It's almost like if you're trying to steal my time, I'd honestly rather you fucking steal my money, because it's kind of like,
oh shit, clip that.
I mean, it's nominal. Don't come take a grip from me or something. But it's like, you know, like it really is like that, because it's a little bit more personal. You know, like you're stealing something internally. Like, at least money, I know why you're stealing it. My time, it's like the money we can go try to get back. You know, the time, there is no getting that back.
Ooh.
So, you know, we can at least try. I'm not saying we will get the money back, Juan. We have to plan it, but at least we can go for it, you know?
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you having me on the pod. Definitely looking forward to my second feature. I'll be a little bit better, you know, a little less sweaty.
No, I love it. We got into the whole origin story. We'll talk a little bit more shit next time.
Get on Greenlight. Get me on Facebook, LinkedIn. As for me, I'm easy to get a hold of. You message me. We're not. Yeah. We're still. I mean,
I'll put his info below in the show notes.
We appreciate you, Juan. We're going to see you down at Texas State's homecoming before you get out to Vegas.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, dog.
Nice. We'll see you soon, Juan.
Thank you for coming on the show, guys. Please like, subscribe, and Daulton's info is below.
Juan Tucker.
Let's go.